Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 58 of the Hello Grace podcast. I am your host, Sarah Stevens. I am coming to you from Spokane, Washington. It's where I live and I work and I raise my family, and I do all of the crafty things here. Today is Sunday, January 8th, 2023. Just now drinking a cup of tea. Still too hot. It is Bigelow's Earl Grey with a little bit of cream and sugar. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My family is still quiet for the day. It's been a foggy, rainy day today. I enjoyed brunch this morning with a really good friend of mine, and we spent like 2 hours just chatting about all the things, personal life wise, work wise, spiritual wise, habit wise, New Year's resolutions or lack thereof, or my kids. So it was a really, really good visit. We met at it's at the old Spokane Country Club, so we went and had brunch there, and we ran into so many people, so that was fun. It was just a great morning outing. A great way to wake up and spend your Sunday morning, I guess. So I did that, and then I came home and gathered all of my stuff, and I finished my second sock so I can show it to you guys. And I thought I'm going to get in a quick podcast before the rest of my day just flies by. So later on today, I have plans to hang out with some girlfriends, and we are going to do, first time for me, it's called a sip and paint, but it's at a local winery here in Spokane. And so we're going to go down to Kendall Yards and do that. So I'm really excited. I've never been to one before, and it's just for 2 hours. I have no idea what we're painting, but they provide all of the supplies and everything like that. So I think there's 12 people that can do it at once. So I know a few of the people there. I don't know if the class is completely booked up or not, but I'm really looking forward to that. So I have to be out the door in a little over 2 hours, about 2.5 hours, and then when I come home, obviously it's dinner and then getting ready for the next day, and we have our refrigerator being delivered tomorrow for like the fourth attempt, something like that. Anyways, you guys aren't here for all of that. So, this is one of my new Christmas presents. I got this mug for Christmas. I don't know I feel like I know which one of my kiddos picked this out, but it just said from all of us. I love this mug. It holds so much of whatever you put into it, much more than what a single tea bag will do. So it is a 2 tea bag kind of a mug. So good. I think they just got it at World Market, to be truthfully honest with you. But I have a lot of things to talk about. I do have a finished object. I'm not going to show you anything that I'm working on, because as soon as I'm done with this, I'm probably going to cast on to my second pair of socks. I have my Simple Pleasures list from the 365 Simple Pleasures book to share with you. Thank you to those of you who did share your list in the episode before. I'm going to share with you what today's simple pleasure is from this book of 365 Simple Pleasures and what I plan to work on this week. And then a new book, a new crafty project to me, and obviously what I'm going to be working on next, and then a few other things. So that's what I hope to talk with you about today. So I guess let's talk about this 365 Simple Pleasures first. So as some of you know, I'm going to be working through this book this year. I received this book from my mother-in-law back in 2007, and on occasion I would pull it out, but this year I'm really focusing on doing one thing at least a week to share with you. Last week, let me open it up. Last week was to create a Simple Pleasures list. That was for January 1. And it does say like, it's going to be different for everybody. So I sat down that day and I created my list. And it is a long, short list. And I ended up just putting it in my journal. And I pulled 10 things. Let's see if I'm going to share all 10 with you. Yeah, I feel like they're all okay. So, number 1, lighting a candle in a clean room. I love that. I love being able, I feel like for me, when the room is clean and I get the opportunity to light a candle, it's kind of like a, I don't know. It's like it's all clean, it's final, and I can now enjoy it. So it just adds a little bit of brightness and a little bit of pretty, and it smells good, and it just feels like that room is now in its to be enjoyed state when I get to light the candle. I don't know, there's something amazing about it. Number 2 is sitting in a sunny spot outside to warm myself. I love when the air around me is not completely warm and there's a little bit of a breeze, and you sit outside, whether it be like on a picnic table or a park bench or somewhere, and the sun is just, it warms your body. Just, you feel the warmth from it. It's almost like your body is recharging. I love that. Walking outside on wet concrete barefoot. Even as a little kid, when it would rain and after the rain was over, I would have to go outside in my bare feet, even especially in the summer when it was wet, but it was still warm and it was a little bit muggy, and it gives off this smell. There is a smell that wet concrete has. I love it. But mostly, I love my feet on it. I love it so much. I can't even explain it more than that. Laying in freshly mowed grass, watching the clouds go by. I love that in the summer so much. It just is so peaceful and calming and relaxing. It brings me back to my childhood. Once again, the smell of freshly cut grass, the breeze, especially if there is a sprinkler in the background, like if I can hear the yeah, just watching the clouds, it's like the most relaxing way to spend some time. A cup of Earl Grey and with cream and sugar in the quiet, or at all. It's just like a cozy little treat for me. It's more gentle in my stomach than coffee. It has has more of a floral taste and smell than coffee does. It's just cozy. It's relaxing. Number 6, cuddles from my kids, or big hugs, tight squeezes as they get older. Like, I've always loved that, but just as they get older, it becomes less and less frequent that you get that out of the blue, like, just crawl up in the chair next to you, and give you a hug for no reason. But mind you, my kids are older, right? So they're 11, 12, 15, and 20. So it's different. Okay, number 7, 1v1 dinner or lunch with my kids, and just having them talk to me about anything. I love that so much. Time with my husband. Just those sweet moments when, they reach down and you just get to hold their hand for a little bit. Or just be in their space without saying anything. It's the best. Number 9, loud music and dancing. Growing up, my dad would crank up the music so loud on the weekends as he would clean and get the house ready. And even now, like, there's nothing better to me than loud music on the weekends while you're cleaning up. Love it. And then number 10 is cooking dinner from scratch. I don't get to do it very often. I make dinner just about every single night, but not all the time is it from scratch. But there's something about just taking the ingredients without a recipe, just with what I know, and creating dinner. And that is one of the best simple pleasures, especially when people get to come over and I get to feed them. I love that so much. So that is my simple pleasures list, and the list I really am going to focus on this year, for myself, just reminding myself to come back to that time and time again. So I have it bookmarked in my journal that I am doing my best to keep up on, daily, nightly. It's more of an evening thing for me. But today is January 8th, and the simple pleasure for the day is cranberry vinegar, and I'm going to do this week. I think this sounds so fun and something like everybody can do it. And I don't know if you guys like purchase vinegar from any of the farmers markets or things like that, but there's a couple different vinegar shops that I really have enjoyed here. And cranberry vinegar is one of them. They produce, like, I've had pineapple vinegar, mango, pina colada. There's just so many. But this one is a recipe for cranberry vinegar. And it says, you've heard of raspberry vinegar, but what about cranberry? It's great for using on salads, really is, chicken dishes, but it's also actually really good on fish. Wash and pick over the cranberries and dry well on paper towels. I'm guessing it wants you to use fresh ones. Use 1 cup of fresh cranberries per quart of vinegar. Pack the cranberries into clean bottles or jars with lids or corks and fill with white wine vinegar that has been heated just to the boiling point. Cork or cap the bottles. Stand the jars in a sunny windowsill for about 2 weeks or 4 weeks if it's not very sunny. So like right now in Washington, 4 weeks is probably how long you want to have it standing in the windowsill. And I would guess you would want to like rotate it like a quarter turn as you notice it there, like maybe when you're doing the dishes at night or something like that. It doesn't say you have to, but I would assume that would be a good idea. The warmth of the sun will infuse the vinegar with the cranberry flavor. Do a taste test. If the vinegar doesn't seem flavorful enough, strain it and add more cranberries. When it suits you, label and decorate the jars with a beautiful ribbon. Store at room temperature. So this seems like a very doable, fun extra thing to do. And I bet you can do this, like I said, with anything, right? But cranberries is a really good jumping off point. So I plan to do that this week. I have a bunch of mason jars. I just have to pick up cranberries because I have white wine vinegar. So I will do that at some point this week. And next podcast, I will share with you my jar. So I'm excited about that. I'm not very good at splicing videos, so I'm probably not going to show you like the whole process of doing so, but we'll see. Finished objects. This is the only knitting that I have to show for you or to you today. I did finish my socks. This is much better lighting than the last time. This is a Malabrigo sock yarn. I don't know what the name of the colorway was, but this is my first official socks of 2023. I knit these cuff down on a 2.0 millimeter needle. I ended up using, typically I use Knitter's Pride Carbons, but I used these square collage needles in the 2.0 millimeter size, and I actually plan to knit my next pair of socks out of these. My hands had been hurting so bad, and there's just a little bit of flexibility with these, and I think that is what helped. And then in addition, the square, the way that you grip the needle, it's supposed to help. So, and it did. My hands have not hurt all week. So I finished these guys up. I actually just finished Kitchener-ing the second toe right before filming. So I'm really pleased with that. I wanted to focus my Monday through Saturday on my 52 socks, and then my Sunday on some other knitting thing, whether it be a sweater or a design or something else. So yeah, those are it. I knit them cuff down. I did a 20 round rib, 50 for the leg, slip stitch heel for 16 slip stitch rows, 50 for the foot and toe, because Vanessa actually said that she really liked these, so I plan to put these in a box for her. So yeah, I wound up my next skein of yarn. It is a Graceland wool skein of yarn on 80/20. It was a Harry Potter colorway, but this is going to be my next sock. I think this was a Caitlin sock. Like, I had asked the kids to pull out some skeins of yarn, and I'm pretty sure that was one that she pulled out. It was her, Ethan. So that is my plan. I will probably cast them on, if not tonight, then tomorrow. Tonight when I get back from my painting party, or tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. We had book club. I host, co-host really, a book club, and it's once a month, and we all vote on books. And the last meeting that we had was last Thursday, and one of the gals hosted it at her house, but there was only 3 of us there that were able to make it for one reason or another. But our next book is going to be The Ladies of the Secret Circus by Constance Sayer. I'm super excited about this book. Lydia got this book, and like I said last time, I was like, I'm going to probably put that on the list. And it was crazy because this one got the most votes, so I'm pretty excited about that. The next thing that I started for the year, Nessa, you can open it, you're fine. The next thing that I started for the year is Amber from Maker's Haven started a year-long Hexie quilt. And if you guys don't know what that is, it is a paper piecing quilt. And you use these templates to create little hexagons out of fabric, and then you piece them together. It's all hand stitched, and as you go, you create this quilt. Now, in her directions, she is doing a temperature gauge, and I'm not, because as we live in Washington State, most of my flowers would consist of the same color for most of the petals, and so I did not think that that was the best route to go. So instead, I just picked 10 different fabrics, and I'm just going to be random with them. So they all match my house upstairs. And we'll get to this. Somebody's screaming at me right now about what I'm going to talk about. And I will decide whether or not I'm going to weigh in or weigh how important it is for what I'm making. And I'll explain in just a second. So I picked these 10 fabrics, and these are what I'm using to create this quilt. So in theory, you are supposed to create these hexagons. You do one a day, and then each day you attach it to the other hexagons until you create a flower, and then that flower gets either embroidered in the center and then attached to a square backing, or you just attach it to a square backing. So today is day 8. Yesterday I completed my 7th one, and this would be my first flower. I've already taken out these paper things, so you create them and you leave the paper in as you attach them. Once you're done, you pull all these guys out. And if you don't damage it too much, then you get to reuse it. Okay, you can buy them at Amazon or at Joann's or Michael's or wherever, and they typically come in a 100 count pack. And they have other shapes too. There's diamonds, there's squares, there's whatever, but you can use the paper piecing method for any shape. And some of these quilts are really crazy. They're amazing. Like, they'll create animals, or like I've seen elephants. I've seen everything. I'm going basic. But I got my 7th one done, and then I realized when I get this whole quilt done and I go to wash it, it's going to be wonky because I never pre-washed my fabric. Had I read the instructions, I probably would have realized, it probably says in there, you should wash it. So I'm kind of at a standstill because in advance, just knowing that today I was going to be super busy, I got today's done, and then I have one other day this week that I have a really fun dinner planned, and I'm not going to have time to do one of these. I got 2 extras done yesterday in advance for that. But now I'm realizing all of this work might be for nothing, because I should maybe have washed everything, ironed it, and then proceeded to work on this. So please weigh in. How important is this for me to have pre-washed this fabric? They are all the same. I'm asking you a question. It's like almost like I'm asking you, how important is it to swatch as a knitter on a sweater? And I would tell you it's extremely important. And it may just make or break how the finished garment is and how wearable it is, right? So how usable this is after the first wash could be made or broken by the fact that I did not. So we'll see. But if any of you guys would like to join in with me to making this quilt, whether you choose to do the temperature gauge or if you just want to do random ones together, let me know. I would love to have some company. This is what the back looks like, all connected. I plan to make all of the, because I don't have the squares that these are supposed to attach to yet. I haven't bought that fabric, and I haven't bought the backing fabric yet. So I plan to just make all of these first and then choose to embroider something in here to kind of tie it all together. So like this flower, I might choose to find like an embroidery floss of this color or maybe a navy blue before I attach it to the square back and do something. And I've been wanting to work on my embroidery, so we'll see. But the biggest dilemma right now is, do I throw this into the washing machine as is and see what happens and determine if I need to wash these? Or do I just wash these, say this was a great learning experience, and then do double duty next week? I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. This is my year-long project. So, anyways, all right, you guys. Well, oh, I wanted to say this too. If you decide to go this route, they have special thread. Like this is a hand quilting thread. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this thread is a little bit like stiffer to poke through your teeny tiny threading needle. And I feel like it's regular thread would totally work, but I feel like this is just going to be stronger, and this is a nice investment. I think I paid $3 for this thread. So if you decide to embark on this, they do have templates available. You do not have to purchase these little cardstock ones. You could do it yourself just by printing them out and cutting them out yourself. But these weren't that expensive, and it was zero added thought for me. So that's why I went this route. And they're all uniform, so it's like die cut, all the same. And these little holes in the middle make it really easy to just like poke a pin through here and pull it out. Because there's going to be some times when you're stitching them together that you accidentally sew through the paper. Anyways, all right, well, thank you all for showing up and hanging out with me for just a little bit. I'm going to finish getting things together, and then I plan to go hang out and paint for a little bit with some friends. But I will see you around this time again next week, hopefully with a decision on this and another sock. So have a great rest of your weekend, you guys. I'll see you next week.